Hello, my friends. I am Bee, and this is Bee's Intuition. Today we're going to do a reading, uh, but I want to see what is coming in, like what is going to surprise you, excite you. You know, um, yeah. Like I just want to see what do you have to look forward to, and maybe it's a surprise, maybe it's something you've been planning. But I'm just curious. I feel like that would be a cool topic to kind of dive into. It is very breezy today, which is like the only thing I did not take into consideration. So you see me looking a bit crazy in the wind, and you see me fixing stuff, is probably just because of the wind. Anyways, let's just dive right into it, shall we? Yeah, please and thank you, Spirit. What does the collective have to look forward to? What can the collective look forward to? Please and thank you, Spirit. What can the collective look forward to? I'll take the top one. That's too many. That felt like it needed to come out. Alright. Any others? Okay. I have the song God is a Weapon stuck in my head because I don't even know if it's low key anymore, it's high key. I'm obsessed with that song. It's so good. Anyways, the vocals are amazing. Anyways, that's stuck in me head. Oh, maybe it would be like a sign for someone out there. If y'all haven't heard it, it's God is a Weapon by Falling in Reverse featuring Marilyn Manson. So that's a thing. That better be a fuzzball and not a ball. I don't know what that was. Creepy. I think it was actually just a piece of tree fuzz. Anyways, focus. These are some good cards here. So we have, this was why I kind of made that little look at you. A little look at the camera. The Sun card. This is literally happiness. And also illumination. So that makes me think that something's coming to light, as well as you finding a lot of happiness. And maybe it is something coming to light, and that thing that comes to light helps to bring you into this happy mindset in some regard. Then we have the Knight of Wands. This could be somebody that's being a little bit flirtatious with you, or you could just be highly motivated through your passions during this time. And then the Eight of Pentacles. You have been working at something for a long time, and you're about to see this payoff. Also, you're mastering whatever you've been working on. And then bottom of the deck we have the Tower card. So something is coming in, and this is going to really shake things up for you. But based on the cards I see in front of me, this is not a bad Tower moment. This feels very much like a positive one. Okay, I'm just going to dive right into the clarifications. I'm going to try also to kind of create a wind barrier for me cards so they don't go flying away in it. Anyways. Ugh, my hair's probably going to look absolutely insane. How dare it? Who allowed the wind to mess up my hair? Anyways, I don't know why I'm doing that. Okay, let's start by clarifying the Sun card, shall we? Please and thank you, Spirit. What is this Sun card speaking about? What does the collective have to look forward to? What can the collective look forward to with that Sun card? Please and thank you, Spirit. This is actually really cool. I like the energy I'm getting from the Sun card here. Okay. Anything else for the... Oh, I love you, Spirit, so much. Bro. This is actually kind of crazy. What the hell, dude? Okay. Just super positive. Anyways, Sun card, clarified by Four of Pentacles, Four of Wands, repeating fours could definitely be a sign during this time to maybe help you feel like keep going because you're about to meet something very positive here. And then the part that I got really excited about is the sun card coming out to clarify the sun card. But it came out in this direction, so I feel like something is like, oh, like you're like so close to experiencing this moment of happiness or this time period of happiness as well. Also, bottom of the deck is the Two of Cups, super positive, but it started to slide off and a bunch of cards started to slide off, revealing the Nine of Pentacles underneath. So yeah, you're coming into a time of abundance, but also maybe some love, dare I say. You've been feeling so restricted, I feel, with that Four of Pentacles. I do get like maybe a scarcity mindset with this one. Especially in your finances, potentially. Just feeling kind of stuck and because I, you know, it's so funny. Certain things, and this is why it's like important to kind of break out of a lack mindset. When you grow up in, say, poverty or being low income, there's a feeling of like needing to hold on to things, and you can even see this in shows like Hoarders. There is like a desire to hold on to things because like either maybe it'll come in handy or it will pay off in some way or it'll become valuable, you know. And in the Hoarders show, it's a very much an extreme version of that. But I feel like if you are from a mindset of lack, or maybe you grew up in an environment that was not very what's the word? Like if you were surrounded by people with lack mindsets or scarcity mindsets because of living situations, environments, circumstances, etc., you can kind of cling on to certain things that may not be super good for you or helpful. And sometimes the things that we hold on to, we think are going to be maybe valuable someday or, you know, come in handy and whatnot. But oftentimes that is mostly the mind trying to create that narrative, I suppose, because it's most of the time we hold on to things with the Four of Pentacles energy. We tend to hold on to things that aren't actually going to become valuable, aren't actually going to do the things that you think they will in the future. And in fact, they could be keeping you in a specific mindset, but also like they could be a block from allowing things that are truly meant for you to come in. So it's almost like sometimes we have to go through our whatever this could be. Like this is going to apply to different people in different ways, but whether it's a physical thing or maybe mindsets that you were kind of like you were kind of programmed to have in your mind and in your life. Yeah, it's good to kind of do like a little bit of a spring cleaning, so to speak, and kind of get things out of your environment that are no longer serving you or may even be holding you back in some regard. The same with mindsets and ways of looking at things. Are these ways of looking at things that are productive, or are these ways of looking at things that create that limited mindset, that lack mindset? I feel like you're kind of used to things kind of not going your way, is what I feel with that Four of Pentacles. And to some extent, you may want to be, or you may be kind of leaning into what is realistic rather than believing that magic can happen or that the impossible can become possible. And this is probably just what has been programmed into you. You know, it's not necessarily your fault for having these mindsets. But I think it's good to kind of take some time to kind of evaluate, like, am I holding on to things that aren't actually serving me and may actually be preventing me from allowing new blessings into my life that are way more useful, productive, etc. Because it's like you're in this space of kind of maybe keeping to yourself to some extent, and maybe slightly holding yourself back, because it's like, I feel this sense of like you don't want to get your hopes up just for them to, you know, just for you to be let down. But I feel like that also is like a limiting mindset to have. I completely understand where it comes from, because I used to, you know, and maybe, you know, to some extent I still do this, you know, because we're only human, right? Nobody's perfect. But what was that message? The pessimism, I believe, is what I was going to say. I know where that comes from because I lived it. So it's like that idea of like, oh, if I just think that there's no way that this will pay off, or I will get the results that I want out of the situation. I understand that it's kind of to not get your hopes up, for them to be dashed, but also at the same time I feel like that mindset is a slippery slope, because it can also lead you to not pursue things, because you have to be realistic. You have to be based in the 3D completely and never kind of believe in magic or energy outside of yourself, you know. The energies around you that are supporting you, guiding you towards your success. I feel like sometimes we can be too much 3D based, and it limits us from pursuing our dreams, from really shooting for the stars in life. But I feel like something comes in, and it's something that you almost were not expecting. Like with the Four of Wands, it feels like this is very much something that you've been working towards. It's a goal that I feel like you've been working towards. And this feels like you're surpassing that goal, or you're meeting that goal, but it's like you almost gave up on it because it was so difficult, maybe. And maybe it was also difficult for you to open up to this new circumstance, situation, blessing that's coming in for you. There is also that part of the Four. Well, now that I did all that, I got this card back, and when I put it down, it came out in reverse when I put it down here. So I think that's purposeful, because the card itself is the lizard and pitcher plant, which represents stagnation. In the reverse, I would say that it's the opposite. Something, you're coming out of stagnancy. You're coming out of a period of stagnation. So if you've been feeling like things really have not been moving the way you wanted it to, or maybe things just haven't been moving in general, things are going to start picking up for you. And I feel like this is a positive thing. Oh, the thing about the Four of Wands is that it can also be a card of union. Coming into union with others. That could be definitely romantic. Also, some people see the Four of Wands as the 1111 card, which is a number associated with twin flames. I'm not a huge fan of the twin flame whole shtick, I guess, just because I feel like it's probably more harmful than it is good, because of the way we see those twin flame situations. But anyways, could be possible if you relate to that sort of situation. But it definitely, I feel like, could definitely be what this Two of Cups is talking about at the bottom of the deck. That's like a card of partnership, finding somebody that you're equal with in terms of reciprocity. Equal give and take, back and forth, equal partners, equal share. And if you're used to being in situations where you're the one always putting in all the work and the other person just ain't doing nothing, this is going to be a shift for you, a big change. Probably why the Tower card also came out at the bottom of the other deck. And then we have the Sun card, and I really do love that it's coming out this way. You are striving towards your own happiness, also maybe health. If you've been going through a bad period of bad health, the Sun card can also be like a good positive message in terms of your health, for sure. But of course, I'm not a doctor, so don't take this as medical advice. But you could be starting to feel better, especially when you go into this new phase here. You could be feeling a lot happier, a lot brighter, more full of energy. Yeah, just a great sense of contentment and happiness. Also, this could be a sign for you to maybe get some more sunlight, if that's something that you feel like you're lacking right now. The vitamin D, I believe, is what the sun gives us, so maybe that's important. And of course, you'll know if that message is for you. Because you'll know if you haven't been outside in a while and maybe your body's starting to crave something like that. But yeah, let's go and look at this bottom of the deck energy with that Two of... Why do I keep wanting to say the wrong words? I keep trying to say things, but as I'm saying them, I'm like thinking of a different word. And so that's the different word that's coming out. Weird. How could I apply that message to the message? You could be speechless maybe when this comes in. You're like, oh, what? How is this possible? Anyways, Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck. That's a reciprocal kind of love, very positive, very healthy. Let's see what's underneath it. The Devil. This could be that you're fearful of this being a toxic connection, but I feel like it isn't a toxic connection. But maybe you're used to going through toxic connections with people, so that's probably like your fear or assumption. I want to see what's underneath the Devil card. Four of Cups, yeah. So I see you being a little bit standoffish with this opportunity coming in for you. Definitely could be romantic, but also other times I've heard the Two of Cups be referred to as like the connection you have between yourself and your higher self. And so maybe you're coming into a time in which you're like stepping into that period of embodying your higher self and the life that goes along with that, like the lifestyle that's associated with your higher self. So like just furthering your journey could be like a huge thing that's happening. But the Devil is more so like about fear, I would say, than like, I mean, obviously it can be toxicity, but I feel like in this context it feels more so like fear. And the thing about the Devil is that although the Devil looks big and scary on the card, the chains around the people's necks is actually quite loose, and that's to indicate that they actually have way more power in this situation than they believed that they did. And they are able to free themselves if they choose to. And the thing is, like, the Devil on this card is mostly just like all scary with no action. Like, this Devil is not going to chase these people down if they decide to remove those chains and walk away. It's mostly just the appearance of something bad rather than something being through and through bad. But either way, that could be an internal struggle you have with this, and that could be also why you're kind of closed off to it. Yeah, and it feels like it's because of your past experiences and maybe specifically in love. And so you're like questioning, like, hey, is this actually the real deal, or is this going to be a repeat of my past? Is what I'm getting. Which is probably super valid. But maybe this is a circumstance that's encouraging you to go outside of your comfort zone, even if you're scared, even if you're uncertain. Okay, let's go on to the Knight of Wands now, see what that's all about. Please and thank you, Spirit. What does the Knight of Wands indicate in this reading, please and thank you, Spirit? What does the collective have to look forward to? What can the collective look forward to, please and thank you, Spirit? For that Knight of Wands, please and thank you. Ooh, interesting, interesting, interesting. Well, the Knight of Wands was clarified by the Magician. The King of Swords came out in the reverse, and that's very interesting. And the Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. And then bottom of the deck, we have that Four of Cups. So with that Four of Cups at the bottom of the deck, I think you're going to be closed off to whoever this Knight of Wands is. And that Knight of Wands, so the Knight of Wands comes in pretty enthusiastically, very passionately, but they're not always thinking with their brain, if you know what I'm saying. They are known sometimes to be a player. So that is a potential energy that you're picking up from this person. But the thing is, as well, I think that this Knight of Wands is going to be this King of Swords in the reverse. And from what I'm getting, I feel like this is somebody from your past that was not kind to you. Could have been very harsh. Like the King of Swords upright is already kind of removed from the emotions. But in the reverse, it's almost like this is somebody that lacks empathy, sympathy for other people. Very bitter, maybe possibly mentally abusive or narcissistic in some regard. Just not a very nice person. So this is not somebody you have fond memories of. Also, the first card that came out to clarify that Knight of Wands is the Magician. And although the Magician can be a card of, you know, manifesting and being a powerful manifester, it can also be a card about manipulation. Because if you think about what manifestation is, it really is just a manipulation of energies. So it could definitely be indicating that this is somebody that is coming in specifically to manipulate this situation between the two of you. So maybe this person wants a good time, but they're going to convince you, or try to convince you, I should say, that they want something more serious with you. But like, either if this is not an ex, this could definitely just be somebody around you that you get bad vibes from, and you see them as a player. You see them as somebody that is not going to settle down or wish for the same things that you are hoping for in a connection. So the Nine of Cups is the last card that came out to clarify that Knight of Wands. So I'm getting a few different messages from this. The first one being that this could be somebody that's saying like, oh, I've been working on myself, I'm so much happier, I'm in a better mental health state of mind, you know. But it also could be like maybe even indicating a sense of selfishness I'm getting for some reason. Like only worried about their own emotional fulfillment and not really caring about what you want in the situation. And then there's the other part where I'm getting the message that maybe this is somebody that sees you as a wish fulfillment in their life, or that they would like in their life, if this is not somebody that's like actively in your life at the moment. Also, it could be like, and this is like, it's so weird because I usually get such positive energy from the Nine of Cups, but with this context, I'm not getting a very good vibe from it at all because it feels like, again, that manipulation, player energy, like misleading you, but purposely misleading you. I almost feel like this is like a sense of like them showing up, being like, I can prove to you that I am your wish fulfillment. I am your manifestation. But I don't think this person really is, though. I think they would like to be the person you want, but I don't think they're going to show up in the ways that you actually need or want them to show up. Also, you're probably very content within your life, within what you have going on, and so maybe this person feels like they kind of have to come towards you in order for you to, yeah, it feels like they want to distract you from what you got going on in your life right now because they are like, wait, what about me? I need to have the spotlight on me. Like, think about me. I just get like a very greedy, selfish energy with this person. And so that definitely does not surprise me why this Four of Cups is at the bottom of the deck. Because, especially if you have some sort of past, it doesn't even have to be necessarily an ex. It could just be somebody that you got bad vibes from, somebody that maybe was like very flirtatious with you or leading you on in some way. Yeah. And so it's like, it's understandable why you're in the Four of Cups energy thinking, I don't know if I can trust you or if I should trust you. Your intuition is probably telling you not to trust this person, and that's probably the right way to go. I want to see what's underneath that Four of Cups. The Devil again. Okay. Well, the thing is, like, this isn't hitting me the same way as I had the Devil card before. The Devil card before at the bottom of the deck kind of hit me in a different way, whereas this context, this could actually be somebody very toxic. So it's almost like that first part of the reading felt way more positive and almost like you're afraid of this new positive beginning because of your past. Whereas this part of the reading, it feels like this person could be the reason why you have trust issues. Yeah, or like you can probably see right through them to who they are, which is maybe somebody that's pretty toxic. And by toxic, I mean somebody that either isn't self-aware of their toxicities. I do believe that we kind of all carry toxicities for the most part. You know, I feel like we really try, or at least we should try to, I saw the Six of Pentacles, but I put it back in the deck, and the Queen of Pentacles. So there's something about receiving and gaining stability and abundance. But anyways, going back to the Devil, I feel like this is somebody that actually might be genuinely toxic. And again, I'm getting that message with the loose chains, like this is somebody that could probably. So with the Devil card at the bottom of the deck, it feels like this is somebody that kind of is toxic in some part of themselves or their life, but yet chooses not to take accountability, chooses not to try and move themselves out of that space, frame of mind, etc. I want to see what's underneath the Devil. Death, transformation, endings that lead to new beginnings. So it's very possible that you could have closed the door on this person anyways already, but like now they want to see if there's something that they can change, like maybe change your mind, change the situation as it's been playing out so far. I'm curious. I want to see what's underneath that Death card. Ten of Swords. So if there was an ending here, it was very painful, which would make sense why you're so closed off to this person. The only part about this part of the reading is like, the whole reading is about what you have to look forward to. And I feel like this is not a situation that you want to look forward to. I mean, it is possible that something you can look forward to in the situation is showing up in a way that's like, I'm so good on my own. I do not need you. I do not need anything to do with you. Which could definitely be your attitude when it comes to this person. Like if they try to come in and be like, oh, let's get back together, or let's start something if we didn't start something before, or we didn't get very far. And then you're just like, nah, I'm good. But maybe that's like a nice feeling. To kind of just be like, because yeah, maybe this person like had you wrapped around their finger, or so they thought. And now you're just like, I'm strong and independent and I don't need you anymore. And that could be like a slap in the face for them, but maybe they deserve it, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, maybe yeah. Maybe rejecting this person could be like a milestone, because like maybe you are the type of person to allow certain people back into your life, or forgive people. You could be very forgiving, and then it's like, here comes this person, and it's just like, no, absolutely not. Under no circumstance am I going to allow this person back into my life. And I feel like that shows like your value, your acknowledgement of your own self-worth. Like you're like, I deserve better, is what I'm getting. So maybe that's the part that you have to look forward to, is to kind of slam the door in this person's face, or at least be like, I'm good, I don't need you, kind of thing. And maybe that's a big deal for you, especially if you're like maybe a recovering people pleaser, or you know, pushover, for lack of a better term. Anyways, yeah, so that may be kind of fun for you, I guess, because it's like, I don't need you, I'm powerful on my own. And you don't fool me. Oh, maybe this is somebody that thought that they could fool you into thinking something about them. Maybe they wanted you to think that they were all invested in you, but meanwhile they're juggling a bunch of other people. Yeah. Either way though, I feel like you're coming into a time of happiness and contentment and fulfillment, so you're gonna be feeling good enough to the point where you're like, I'm good on my own. Because it feels like you would much rather wait for the right person than get into a connection with the wrong person. Yeah. Okay, well then let's go on to the Eight of see what I mean? I keep saying the wrong words, even though I know exactly what card I'm holding. Eight of Pentacles. Let's clarify that. Please, thank you, Spirit. I think I almost started to say Eight of Cups, which is also a card about leaving things behind that no longer emotionally fulfill you, going towards the things that are meant for you. So that could definitely be a related message about kind of what happened in the past with this person, is you had to leave them behind because they were maybe draining your energy, or they were probably playing games with you. What else do we have for that Eight of Pentacles? Please and thank you, Spirit. For the collective, what do they have to look forward to? Ooh. Wow. With that Eight of Pentacles, please and thank you, Spirit. Anything else for that Eight of Pentacles? Please and thank you, Spirit. Okay. Well then, we got some juicy. So, clarifying the Eight of Pentacles, we have the World card, Temperance, the Fool card. This is 3 major arcana that is clarifying this Eight of Pentacles. Also, bottom of the deck is the Ace of Cups, but it started to slip off to show what's underneath, which is the Emperor, which is great, another major arcana. So this part of the reading is definitely indicating something huge going on. And it probably is in relation to what you've been working on within your life, whether that be your job, projects, side hustles, whatever. You've been investing, and that investment feels like it's paying off for you. The World card that came out first is like all about closing out old cycles, beginning new ones, and these are, you know, positive new cycles that are on your path to your higher purpose. So there could be something about what you do that is tied into your purpose here and your destiny. And now it's like you're on track to fulfill your destiny now, whereas maybe before you weren't, or maybe before you had certain people in your energy that were distracting you from your goals or the things that you're trying to achieve here. And then Temperance, that's a card of patience and healing. Transmuting those energies from negativity to positivity. Taking bad circumstances and using them to your own benefit in some regard. I also feel like with all three of these, there's a spiritual component that I feel is like spirit cheering you on, or spirit could be strongly supporting you down the path that you're going down. Because it feels like now you're on track to manifest what you want and to fulfill your purpose. But yeah, there's definitely a big feeling of spirit being present when it comes to what you do and how or which direction you're getting directed towards. I feel like spirit is playing a big part in all of that. They also see that you've been working really hard and they want you to feel like your hard work is going to pay off. And I feel like it's because you make those difficult decisions to close out certain cycles that you know do not serve you. You have been very patient with yourself, maybe with others as well. You've been very good about balancing out your emotions as well, creating a sense of stability within. And the Fool card, that's a new beginning. And it's so funny because the second part of this reading, the last part we were just on, I had the Fool card pop up in my mind. So that was kind of cool. But because there was a point where I said something like, oh, this past person, or whoever this person is, that King of Swords in the reverse, they felt like they had you kind of wrapped around their finger, and I feel like they kind of took you as a fool, and not in the positive sense, more so like somebody that's gullible. Yeah, but Spirit is guiding you towards this new beginning. This feels very positive. This feels like something that maybe you've been wishing for, that you've been hoping for, and now it's finally coming in and you're kind of opening your arms to this new beginning. You're excited about the future and what can happen. And it's like Spirit is guiding you down this path, and maybe you feel that presence to some extent. I feel like Spirit is very much encouraging you to keep going, because there's something beautiful taking place here. I definitely just want to say, like, whatever you've been focusing your energy on, whatever you've been investing in, it's going to be paying off for you, even if it feels like it's not at the moment. I feel like this is going to surprise you to some extent. I'm gonna finish. I am literally going to finish this, whether I get downpoured on or not. I mean, we're at the end of the reading pretty much anyways, but Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. You have been establishing a lot more love within, I feel. And it probably has something to do with, like, what you're setting up for yourself, you know, what you're investing in and stuff, because it's like you have this goal, you have something in mind here, and you're actually doing what it takes to achieve something. And I feel like that's creating a sense of, like, maybe self-love or self-appreciation even. Also, it feels like there could be more love coming into your life because you're creating that sense of fueling your love from within. Oh yeah, and then we saw underneath is the Emperor, right? Yeah, Emperor. You're coming into a time of a lot of power. being seen as a great leader. Maybe a leader when it comes to emotions, managing emotions maybe, or maybe something to do with love. Maybe you're a very loving person and you show people how to kind of use that as a strength rather than a weakness or something, because a lot of people have that misconception about being loving. You are also very much a fighter, and I feel like you're fighting to get to where you want to be is going to pay off. I want to see what's underneath that Emperor. Eight of Cups. So, that was what I was starting to say earlier when I picked up the Eight of Pentacles. So you have been making those difficult decisions, like I said. You've been leaving behind the things that no longer emotionally fulfill you, moving towards the things that are meant for you. And although that sounds so simple, right? Not everybody can do that. Not everybody wants to do that kind of thing. But you're doing that. You're making those difficult decisions. You're moving away from things that are probably hard to move away from. Because you know your purpose is elsewhere. Your purpose is bigger, potentially. You want to set yourself up for success, and I feel like that's exactly what you're doing here. Nice. Okay, let's go look at this other bottom of the deck here. So we have that Tower card, of course, which I feel like is things suddenly shaking up out of nowhere. And because I did see that stagnation card in the reverse, it could be that like suddenly things start moving, and it could be following a long period of things being kind of stuck, stagnant. And here all of a sudden things get moving, and you're going to be shaken up by that because you're like, oh, I thought this was never going to go anywhere, and here it goes somewhere. Again, I think it's a positive Tower moment. Let's see what's underneath that Tower card. Three of Cups. Something about working with a community. Maybe getting some recognition from your community, support from your community, or just the people that are around you. This could be friends and family who are very proud of you, very emotionally supportive of you on your journey. I want to see what's underneath that. Also, it could be like you celebrating this shocking success that comes in. You could be celebrating with your loved ones as a response to some sort of success or milestone that you've met. Let's see what's underneath that. Justice. So balancing out of the scales, things finally working out in your favor. The sword indicates like truth being revealed or something becoming illuminated there. And so it's like clarity is coming. If there's been a period of confusion, stagnancy, nothing really moving, nothing really happening, suddenly things are going to happen, and it feels like for the best case scenario. What suits you best is what's going to be taking place. Now let's break out the Oracle, see what it has to say. Please and thank you, Spirit. What does the collective have to look forward to? Please and thank you, Spirit. Anything else? What can the collective look forward to? Please and thank you, Spirit. Okay. One more shot. Okay, I just want to make sure. One of these Oracle cards keeps popping out for like all my messages recently. So we have the Eel and Iris. This represents safety. So I feel like with this, there's something about being protected. And then the Porcupine and Anemone, boundaries, represents boundaries. You've been good about your boundary setting. Yes, and boundaries are super important to keep ourselves happy, healthy, functioning sometimes. Bottom of the deck is the Cayman and Poppy, and this represents dreams. So there's something taking place with some dreams you've been having about what your future looks like, what you want your future to look like. Could also be something about literal dreams. Maybe there's a message in your dreams. Maybe kind of getting a dream journal going could be helpful for you. If you feel like spirit may be sending you messages in your sleep through your dreams, those could be important to kind of analyze potentially. I also am going to just take out the book for that first card, the eel in iris, which represents safety, because I feel like with it coming out so many times, that may indicate that this is an important message that I haven't been able to give you fully. So I'm just going to read what the book says. Eels are furtive creatures, often burying themselves in the murky depths. The idiom, slippery as an eel, refers to the eel's ability to escape harm. The iris is the tall, hardy flower from which the fleur de lis, a medieval symbol of power and victory, is derived. Together, the stealthy eel and the mighty iris indicate safety in our homes, relationships, and work. So you're protected when it comes to your home, relationships, and work. The upright meaning could be, now is a good time to establish healthy boundaries. If others take offense, do not fret over the reaction. Stand firm in your power like the iris. Okay, so, and that's pretty funny because it was followed by the boundaries card with the porcupine. Okay, that makes me want to look at that one now. Oh, right here. The porcupine, with its impressive quills, is well known for a symbol of self-defense. According to a legend common among the Anishinaabe tribes, the porcupine got its quills by placing the branches of a hawthorn tree on its back, defending itself against the bear. Nanabozo, the trickster spirit of the Ojibwe myth, saw the porcupine's cleverness and fashioned it a coat of quills to wear from then on. Just as the porcupine curls into a ball to defend itself from predators, the anemone flower turns inward and down during rainstorms, protecting its delicate petals from damage. Upright, this can mean you cannot help others unless you first help yourself. Maintain healthy boundaries around your time and energy, giving generously only once you are sufficiently fed. So yeah, very strong message here about creating boundaries and not being I can't think of the way that I want to phrase that. Like not being convinced to lower your boundaries, not listening to other people when they say like, oh, you know, you shouldn't be putting up boundaries with so-and-so, or you shouldn't be doing them that way, or you shouldn't be doing them, I wouldn't do it this way, or, you know, whatever. Just don't listen to anyone else, listen to yourself. If you need to create boundaries, the best person to know who and what you need to create boundaries with is you. You're going to be the only person that knows what needs to be limited when it comes to your energy, to your life. Who deserves your energy? Who doesn't? Who is in alignment with you? Who isn't? These could also just be huge things that you're kind of reflecting on. Is like, okay, like, yeah, there could be specific people in your life that you feel burnt out about. And you're just like, I need to put up some boundaries because I'm wearing myself down. I'm wearing thin here. So don't feel bad about your boundary setting for sure. And boundary setting is going to be very important in your journey, it seems. So maybe these boundary settings may be met with judgment from others, but maybe they're very, very necessary. And your true happiness, your true health is really all that matters at the end of the day. Nobody else is going to be setting those boundaries for you, so it's good that you're doing it for yourself. Yeah. I think that's the end of the reading. I really hope that you enjoyed this mess of a reading. Hopefully I can edit it down so that it's not as chaotic, but I had a chaotic time because of the wind, mostly. Anyways, that is the reading. I really hope you enjoyed this. If it resonated at all, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you subscribe, you can become a part of the Hive Collective, because my name is Bee. Bees live in hives, and you can become an honorary bee like me, and we can be a little bee family together. If you like my readings and you'd like to see more, be sure to click that bell icon down below so that YouTube actually notifies you the next time that I upload. And thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.